Right now at 6, the continuing government shutdown forces some area families to choose between food and medical care.
We have a beautiful sunny day ahead of us, but it will be on the breezier side. Have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the federal government shutdown enters day 36, making it the longest in U.S. history.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KWM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Feels like we're almost done with the work week because we are almost done with the work week. So yeah. It happens fast.
It does go by pretty quick. I mean, when you're having fun, you love your job, it kind of just really blows through. And the nice weather we're having, it just makes it feel so good.
And you're doing such a good job. I know Chris Warner is on a much-deserved break. Don't worry, Chris will be back. But Donald is doing a great job here in the mornings with us.
Yes, I'm actually really loving it. Getting up, I'm not usually a morning person, so it definitely struggled there for a little bit, but I'm kind of getting used to it now. So Perfect. It feels pretty good. And like I said, you're waking up to a pretty nice morning as well. Let's take a look at downtown Pittsburgh at this moment. You can start to slowly see the sunrise there with this camera, so it's looking pretty nice out there. Colors are starting to show up. A beautiful morning, a little bit on the cooler side, but not too bad. Things are going to start warming up through the morning into the afternoon. 7th and range line, again, looking pretty good. I think that actually might be the moon way up there. That's going to start setting as the morning progresses, but overall, pretty clear morning. Range line I-44 getting a little bit busier. People are starting to get out, do their morning routine, going to get their morning coffee. Kids are going on the school bus. Pretty nice day, and also driving conditions are pretty good as well. We do have pretty clear conditions for our fog. No water, you guys are seeing a little bit of fog out there, a little bit of patchy fog in Veneta. Not too bad at this moment, but just be careful because fog can appear very quickly. These can change extremely fast in just a short amount of time, but for the most part, driving conditions look really good across our entire area, except for that one little spot. Temperatures are not too bad either across our area. Low 40s to mid to lower 50s. 42 there in Sedan. You guys are on the cooler side, but 51 in here in Joplin, 50 in Carthage. So waking up to a cool morning, but it's going to change as we progress through the day. All right, so future track, noon today, we're going to see southerly winds. That's going to stick around, clear, nice skies through the day, and into the afternoon, some clouds are going to start building in, but it's still going to stay pretty nice and warm. So your school day, we're going to see 51 as you're waking up, 70 at lunch and recess, 73 as you're heading home, and sunny skies through the entire day, but on the windier side, gusts up to 25 miles an hour. But I'll have a complete look at your forecast coming up.
Donald, thanks. The federal government shutdown is now in its 36th day, making it the longest in U.S. history, followed by one during President Trump's first term. At a White House breakfast meeting, President Trump pressured Republican senators to scrap the filibuster rule that requires 60 votes to advance most legislation. Senator Majority Leader John Thune says the votes aren't there to change that rule that would let Republicans fund the government and end the shutdown without the needed Democratic votes.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3 1/4. We have 3 1/4 years, so it's a long time.
Leader Jeffries and I, this morning, demanded that Donald Trump sit down and meet with us to address the health care crisis. Anytime, anywhere, any place, we're ready to meet with him. It's time to sit down and negotiate with Democrats to bring this Republican shutdown to an end and address the health care crisis.
Republicans continue to urge Democrats to support a short-term spending bill, while Democrats are pushing for an extension to Affordable Care Act subsidies they say are needed to lower health insurance premiums. The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas hosts its annual grant celebration last night at Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh. The event granted $676,000 to 85 organizations through multiple funds. One of those, the Rita J. Bicknell Women's Health Fund, which granted $62,000 to 18 organizations. The Women's Health grants support programs that improve women's well-being, including fitness initiatives and essential items for women in need.
Especially given the current environment, it's rewarding to know that we're helping support great work from nonprofits here in Southeast Kansas. When funding may be, a little volatile right now, that we're a stable source of funding for nonprofits in our area. And tonight we get to hear some great stories about the work they've done in our communities.
More than 40 Southeast Kansas communities will benefit from this year's awards. Disagreement in Washington leaves an uncertain future for some area families. As the government shutdown continues, families who rely on federal programs are running into new challenges, not just with food assistance, but with everyday services. For one Joplin mother raising a child with autism, even getting to medical appointments has become a struggle. Southeast Kansas attracts plenty of workers, but many go home to other states at the end of the day. The reason? A lack of housing options. This week, community leaders are gathering to tackle this challenge. KOAM's Kenny Foreman shows us their solutions.
For a region as vibrant as Southeast Kansas, housing can tend to be a complicated subject.
A lot of times we can't depend on all the various programs out there to be state or federal. So we got to figure out ways to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And so what we're hoping today and tomorrow is to share other communities' ideas and how they helped facilitate it, how it was funded, who made it happen.
As Southeast Kansas becomes an increasingly more attractive place for people to come and work, this also creates a common sentiment among the community that there needs to be more housing options for those people to live.
They're coming in from other states and other counties, they're working here, and then they're going home. It's up to us to come together to put a housing system in the entire Southeast region that keeps them here when they get that paycheck.
A major goal of the conference is for the leaders to take the ideas and concerns being expressed and start thinking about what they can do for their community.
We've had a lot of questions from city officials and manufacturers. Those are the two industries that need to know that the cities are being provided for as far as housing, and the manufacturers need to know that economic developments like myself are on top of housing.
One speaker was Coffeyville City Manager Ben Brubaker, who is actively working to ensure that there is enough financial support for continuous growth in the city.
Coffeyville has a sales tax with a portion of that devoted to housing, and so we're out trying to partner with everyone we can on how can we utilize those funds to best incentivize that growth and development that we need in the housing area.
In Chanute, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
In addition to housing, SEK Incorporated also works to come up with solutions when it comes to workforce development and childcare. They represent city governments from 12 counties throughout Southeast Kansas. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News.
The Supreme Court hears arguments on the legality of President Trump's sweeping tariffs. I'm Erica Brown with more from the High Court on the emergency powers used for his economic policy.
Plus, the Wicked sequel breaks pre-sale records before it even hits theaters. Ariana Grande misses the Sao Paulo premiere due to a plane safety issue. And clear and sunny skies in the 4 states. Donald has a look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, the Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday over President Trump's sweeping tariff policies. The case revolves around the president's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 and whether it is an overreach of executive power. Erica Brown has the latest from the Supreme Court.
Inside the Supreme Court Wednesday, the Trump administration argued the president has the legal authority to impose sweeping tariffs on foreign countries without congressional approval.
We don't contend that what's being exercised here is the power to tax. It's the power to regulate foreign commerce. These are regulatory tariffs. They are not revenue-raising tariffs.
President Trump relied on a 1977 emergency law known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose the tariffs. But several justices, including some conservatives, questioned the administration's interpretation of that law and where to draw the line.
What would prohibit Congress from just abdicating all responsibility to regulate foreign commerce, for that matter, declare war, to the president?
We don't contend that he could do that. If it did.
Why not?
Attorney Neil Katyal argued on behalf of the small businesses who brought the lawsuit.
The justices ask tough questions, but fair questions.
These tariffs don't punish foreign governments. They punish American small businesses, American workers, and American families.
President Trump has called this case, quote, life or death for our country, and warned a ruling against him could cause economic disaster and impact tens of billions of dollars his administration says it raised in tariff revenue. Legal experts say this appears to be the first time conservative justices expressed skepticism on one of President Trump's major policies.
If you listen to the arguments today, I think the betting is that the Trump administration did not persuade the court of its position.
The court is expected to rule next year. Erica Brown, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
Now, even if President Trump loses this case, some tariffs that were enacted under other statutes will remain, including levies on steel, aluminum, and automobiles. While still to come, new hope for people battling advanced breast cancer. Plus, clear and sunny skies in the 4 states. Donald has a look at your Thursday forecast. Stars of Wicked are hitting the red carpet ahead of the sequel's debut, hoping to defy gravity and box office projections. And your favorite demon hunters are coming back. Gwen Baumgarten has your Eye on Entertainment report.
Excitement is building ahead of the Wicked for Good release. It's the highly anticipated sequel to last year's box office hit. Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. The cast kicked off their global red carpet tour with a premiere in Sao Paulo. Star Ariana Grande appearing only by video after her plane to Brazil was grounded because of a safety issue. Wicked for Good heads to theaters November 21st. The number of purchased pre-sale tickets has already set a record on the site Fandango. The most popular film of the summer is getting a sequel. It's time. K-pop Demon Hunters 2 has just been greenlit by Sony Pictures and Netflix. With over 325 million views, the original movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, is the most watched movie on Netflix ever. The animated musical is expected to be released in 2029. Oscar winner, Dame, and legendary actress Helen Mirren is getting another accolade. The Golden Globes have named Mirren the 2026 recipient of the Cecil B. DeMille Award for her decades-long career in Hollywood. Previous DeMille Award recipients include Walt Disney, Elizabeth Taylor, and Morgan Freeman. The Golden Globes will air on CBS on January 11th with the return of host Nikki Glaser. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I know the songs from K-pop Demon Hunter have been non-stop stuck in my head, so I'm sure any sequel songs will be the exact same. Well, now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
Well, we're gonna be golden today. Sunny and clear skies for us. Nice and warm, but a cool down is coming. I'll have a look at your full weather forecast after the break. It's a beautiful morning out there. You can see in downtown Pittsburgh, the sun is coming up. Beautiful colors out there. I love the sunrises and I love the sunsets out here. I can never get enough of it. Take a look at 7th and Range line right now. Like I said, beautiful sunrise. The moon is being covered by our logo, but it is, I think it's full or just almost beyond full at this moment. So beautiful morning as you're getting out the door. Range line I-44 starting to get a little bit busier as people are starting to get out the door, do their morning routine, get their morning coffee. Kids are getting on the bus to go to school. Driving conditions aren't too bad at this moment. So you can see most of our area looks pretty good. There is a little bit of patchy fog down there by Nowata and Veneta. 9 miles of visibility, so it's not too bad, but make sure when you're out driving, fog can appear very quickly and disappear very quickly. So just make sure you're paying attention while you're driving. Use your low beams and don't use your high beams in the fog, but use fog lights if you do have them. But for the most part, driving conditions look pretty good. Our temperatures look pretty good at the moment, but let's actually take a look at our regional temperatures right now. So you can actually see we're at 50 in Joplin. We do have a low pressure system down there by the Red River that's bringing up those southerly winds at this moment that is going to be warming our area, but there is a front that is going to be pushing through. There's another low pressure way up there in the border of Canada that's going to be bringing those cooler temperatures by this weekend. But right now we're going to be seeing some nice temperatures for today and tomorrow. So our future track today, Thursday at noon. There's those southerly winds I was talking about that's bringing in a nice cool, nice warm, clear, dry weather. But there is going to be some clouds that are going to start building in by about 4 o'clock, as you can see. Still nice southerly winds, clear for the most part, but then we move into the evening and the overnight, and there is going to be some clouds that are going to start building in. Mostly a clear overnight until we get to about Friday morning. Clouds are going to start building in. We're going to start to see a little bit of a wind shift. As you can see right there, that's what I was talking about, those northerly winds, those northwesterly winds are going to start building in. And then there's our clouds that we're talking about right here. So clear skies pretty much to our northwest. We're going to have overcast skies for our area here, particularly in Joplin. So not too bad of a day for today and tomorrow. But actually for today though, starting at 8 a.m., 54 degrees, sunny skies through the morning, get up to 67 degrees by 11 a.m., beautiful start to your day. And then for your afternoon, 70 at noon, and then clear skies pretty much the entire day, getting up to 73 between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. But it is going to be on the windier side though, those gusts, those winds out of the south gusting up to 25 miles an hour. So even though it's going to be a pretty nice sunny day, it still will be breezy though. And tonight, cool down very slowly, 6 p.m., 69 degrees, increasing clouds as we get to about 10 p.m., 64 degrees at 10 p.m., and dropping down to 55 degrees overnight. And mostly cloudy skies pretty much for the overnight, and those clouds are going to act like a blanket. That's why it's going to seem a little bit warmer for the overnight. Still some winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour, so not as windy as during the day, but it's still going to be a pretty nice day and into the overnight as well. So let's take a look at our 10-day. Breezy today at Thursday, 73 degrees, 72 tomorrow, and then you can see Saturday, 68 degrees. Things are going to start really cooling down on Sunday. Look at that, 24 degrees, 31 degrees overnight, 49 degrees on Monday. That's when we're going to see that possible frost and freeze. And then we're going to start warming up again by about Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly seeing 70s again by later on next week. But that's a look at your full forecast. Here is Sam with Health Watch.
Thanks, Donald. New treatments are allowing people with advanced breast cancer to live longer than they did 15 years ago. A study of more than 60,000 patients with metastatic breast cancer in the U.S. found the average survival time has increased by 6 to 7 months. Doctors credit more effective treatments and improvements in diagnosis and quality of care. Having poor heart health in middle age increases your risk for dementia later in life. A University College London study found people with signs of damage to their heart between the ages of 45 and 69 saw their thinking, memory, and problem-solving abilities deteriorate faster and were more likely to develop dementia. Researchers say the warning signs can be spotted as soon as 25 years before dementia diagnosis. And more evidence of the dangers of drinking. Harvard researchers found people who had 3 or more alcohol drinks a day were more likely to have strokes caused by brain bleeding. Also, heavy drinkers who had strokes tended to have them more than a decade earlier than people who weren't heavy drinkers. The study's authors say heavy drinking speeds up long-term harm to the brain's blood vessels. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. Nearly 227,000 people will be diagnosed this year. A new report finds significant progress against lung cancer, but also shows more at-risk patients need to be screened. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Perry Lee is a lung cancer survivor. The New Jersey volunteer firefighter had a baseline scan that showed a tiny spot on his lung.
I monitored it for roughly 2 years. and I never followed up after that.
Several years later, in 2019, a new doctor insisted he get it checked out. He was diagnosed with stage 1 lung cancer.
I was in denial, I was angry, and at the same time I was like, how do I go and tell my family? Because I had let it go for so long. I had no shortness of breath, none of the symptoms.
The State of Lung Cancer report from the American Lung Association finds the disease is being detected earlier and more people are living longer after diagnosis.
Lung cancer screening is a game changer in helping people catch the disease early when it's easier to treat. There are so many more treatments over the past decade.
Nationally, only 18% of high-risk patients were screened, and screening rates varied significantly from state to state.
Only a small percentage of people who are eligible get screened for lung cancer. If you're over 50, if you have a smoking history, go to savedbythescan.org and figure out if you qualify for screening.
It was a really aggressive growth.
Lee says he's lucky his cancer was caught early, and his only treatment was surgery.
Go. It can't hurt. If I didn't go do mine, nobody would ever have known because I didn't exhibit any symptoms. Get the baseline, and it gives you a peace of mind. Gives your family peace of mind.
He gets screened yearly and shares his story with his fellow firefighters to help them stay healthy. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The Lung Association says it's concerned that federal cuts are threatening lung cancer research. Well, that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, an uptick in write-ins had officials in 2 southeast Kansas counties counting votes through the evening and into the morning.
It's going to be a beautiful sunny today, though on the breezier side. I'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Over 800 flags have been placed around McDonald County by the McDonald County High School's JRTC program. I'm Ty Parks. I'll speak to the cadets about what this means to them coming up.
Four States' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6:31, I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Donald O'Keefe. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. You know, I feel like it's going to be a great day. I say this every day, but I feel like every day is going to be a good day. You just have to have that positive attitude going into it. But it's hard not to think it's going to be a good day when you look outside and see a beautiful sunset or sunrise.
Yeah, I know.
It's early.
I know. I mean, honestly, the sunrises and sunsets are so beautiful out here that I can't get enough of it. So, and you are waking up to a pretty nice day, honestly. It makes you feel good when you're waking up. The sun's coming out. You can actually see the sun, and it's clear blue skies. If we actually take a look at downtown Pittsburgh right now, look at that very beautiful sunrise out there. I mean, if you want to wait for the sunset, you got to wait about 12 hours or so. But it's not too bad out there at this moment. Beautiful sunrise out there. The colors are starting to show. I'm really loving the way that we're waking up right now. And even for 7th and Rangeline, beautiful colors out there for our sunrise. I'm loving it. People are starting to get out the door, do their morning routines, go get their morning coffee. Kids are starting to get out on the bus. Rangeline, I-44, like I said, people are starting to do their morning stuff. And also, our fog tracker doesn't look too bad either. Most of the area has pretty good conditions. There is a little bit of patchy fog out there in Nowata and Veneta, about 9 miles of visibility, but not too bad. Just make sure if you're out driving, those fog conditions can change very quickly. Our temperatures are not too bad either. 51 in Joplin, 45 there in Yates Center. A little bit cooler out there to the west, but not too bad as you're waking up. That beautiful sun is going to make you feel pretty good. All right, so our future track, Thursday today at noon, southerly winds, clear, beautiful skies. We're going to stay like that pretty much through the afternoon. We're going to have some clouds start to build in by about 4 to 5 o'clock, and then by about 6 o'clock, we're going to have those clouds mostly to the north, but it's still going to be pretty nice, sunny, and warm, and on the breezier side though. So planning your school day, 51 out the door, 70 degrees for lunch and recess, and then 73 degrees as you're heading home. A pretty nice day if you're outside doing stuff for school. And that's pretty much beautiful day, getting up to 73 degrees by about 3 o'clock. But it is going to be windy though. Winds are going to be gusting up to 25 miles an hour, but don't let that deter you from this beautiful sunny day. I'll have more of your forecast coming up.
Donald, thanks. McDonald County High School JRTC cadets are planting flags around the county. The cadets tell KOAM they're proud to be putting flags up to honor the veterans that came before them. More than 800 flags will be up around McDonald County by Monday in time for Veterans Day. Crawford County Mental Health also has a Veterans Day event coming up. The annual Community Veterans Day celebration takes place this Friday at the Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh from noon until 1. The event will feature a catered lunch and information about the Health Department's service members, veterans, and families program. Local veterans will also share their stories and take part in a special celebration honoring the service and sacrifice of all those who have served. The Missouri Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday that could spare the life of a man who brutally abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered a 10-year-old Southwest Missouri girl. The victim, 10-year-old Haley Owens from Springfield. The fourth grader went missing walking home from a friend's house on February 18, 2014. Investigators later found Haley's body in plastic storage containers in Craig Wood's basement. She had been shot in the back of the head and showed signs of being tied up. Wood, a former teacher's aide and football coach, was sentenced to death in 2018 after a jury convicted him of first-degree murder. Wood appealed his death sentence multiple times. In 2019, the state's highest court upheld both his conviction and death sentence. Yesterday, during the latest appeal to the Missouri Supreme Court, Woods' legal team argued the jury never heard that Haley's mother wanted Wood sentenced to life in prison instead of the death penalty.
The jury never got to hear what, in fact, Haley Owens' mother wanted, but they got this different perspective that, in fact, she wanted death, and heard all about this community impact as well.
As I recall, some of the pleadings that I've seen throughout the course of this case have made the assertion that the family wanted a life sentence. In fact, we only know the wishes of one member of the family, that being the mother. We don't know what anybody else in the family wanted.
The case sparked national attention and led to thousands attending candlelight vigils for Haley, including this one in Joplin. Her family's advocacy also resulted in Haley's Law in 2019, which allows police to issue Amber Alerts faster. The Supreme Court took yesterday's arguments under advisement and will hand down a ruling at a later date. Election night turned into election morning for a couple of southeast Kansas counties this week. The reason? A flood of write-in candidates that delayed ballot counting well past midnight. KOAM's Mitch Adams explains how write-in votes can slow down the entire election process.
In a local election, if no one runs for an open position, it is up to the citizens to write in a candidate to do the job. But with that comes potential delays, slowing down the process of verifying election results.
Out of the 2,249 registered voters in Woodson County, 450 ballots were cast, with over 200 of those ballots voting for a write-in candidate.
If a name is written in and they can tell that was the intent was to vote for that person, we still have to count it even if our machines don't count it. And so that takes a significant amount of time.
Oftentimes, people will fill the line with a fictitious character or nickname, which could have an effect on how fast finalized results come out.
That's where our write-in board kind of can determine, like, they'll still list that person, but when we're going through and doing our voter checks, we know, like, Donald Duck doesn't really exist. And so, you know, we'll be able to establish that and have it on our records that, you know, yes, we did have this vote, but they're not an eligible person for that position.
Most Kansas counties will certify their election results within the coming weeks. Reporting in Woodson County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
We emailed questions about similar delays to the Bourbon County clerk, and we're still waiting for a response. Well, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, hundreds of students at McDonald County High School take a look at potential career opportunities. Blessed Toyota recalls more than 1 million vehicles over a camera malfunction that could cause crashes. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, McDonald County High School hosts a career fair for their high school students. It helped young people explore all kinds of possibilities in industry, the military, and higher education. The school hosts these fairs to help students plan what's next in their lives. American Airlines says it expects that the vast majority of its customers will be unaffected by the FAA's decision to reduce airspace capacity by 10% in dozens of high-volume markets starting Friday. The move is due to shutdown-related staff shortages. American says it will proactively reach out to impacted customers and encourages flyers to check flight updates online. In an internal memo, United Airlines says it will try to rebook passengers affected by flight reductions, adding that all customers are eligible for refunds during this period. Toyota is recalling more than 1 million Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru Solterra vehicles that have panoramic view monitor systems. The car maker says a software issue could cause the rear view camera to malfunction, increasing the risk of a crash. Toyota will fix the issue for free. And Red Cup Day at Starbucks is November 13th. Customers can stop by Starbucks to get a free reusable red cup while supplies last. Unionized Starbucks workers are also planning a strike on that day if a labor contract is not finalized then. Meanwhile, the coffee chain's holiday lineup returns today, featuring seasonal favorite drink flavors like peppermint mocha and gingerbread, and the addition of 2 new pastries. How much would you pay to never have to say goodbye to a beloved pet? If you have enough cash, that's a question worth asking. Tom Brady announced that he's cloned his late dog, joining a list of other celebrities who've done it. The price tag? A cool $50,000. Jolene Kent has the story.
I got a call today from the cloning people.
Many of us wish our pets could be with us forever.
It's been 10 months since Diamond Baby ran away. She was like my sister, my best friend.
Paris Hilton cloned her missing Chihuahua in 2023, producing 2 new puppies.
This is Diamond and Baby.
That same year, our Gayle King spoke with Barbara Streisand as they were interrupted by Miss Violet and Miss Scarlet, clones of Streisand's late canine, Samantha.
They're not the same because, as I said, you can't clone a soul. Sammy had her own soul.
And now football legend Tom Brady reveals to People magazine he's done the same, cloning his pit bull mix, Lua, who died in 2023, with biotech company Colossal Biosciences, in which Brady is an investor.
Meet Khaleesi.
Last year, Colossal says it used gene editing and cloning to create 3 pups of an extinct species, the dire wolf. To clone your pet, here's how it works. Your vet takes tissue samples and sends it to the lab. Embryos are created from the cells and implanted into a surrogate dog to carry it to term. According to research at Columbia University, the success rate is only about 20%. Bioethicist Jessica Pierce.
What worries me about cloning is that I feel like it's an industry that steps in and kind of preys on people's grief.
Pierce also said cloning preys on people's fear of losing their animal or their distress at having just lost their pet. We've reached out to Colossal for comment and have not heard back. In the meantime, PETA, the animal rights or advocacy organization, says the best way to honor your lost pet is to recognize that they are not replaceable and to adopt from a local shelter. Jolene Kent, CBS News, New York.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Donald with a quick look at your forecast.
It's going to be a beautiful day out there, looking down at downtown Pittsburgh. Beautiful sunrise. Temperatures are going to warm up to the low 70s, and we're going to actually have a cool down this weekend, but we're not going to take for granted this beautiful day that we're going to have for today and tomorrow. Have a look at your full forecast coming up.
Well, it's the best time of the morning. It's when we get to celebrate some birthdays and anniversaries. Starting off in Asbury, Kansas, Vanessa Hughes is celebrating birthday number 9. Happy birthday, Vanessa.
In Galena, Kansas, Colby Matson is turning 18 today, and the note says, "Love and are proud of you, Grandma Patty and Aunt Jen. Happy birthday to you."
And Bailey Monty Pasquarelli is celebrating birthday number 23 in Erie, Kansas. Happy birthday, Bailey.
In Nevada, Missouri, Willie Summerlin turns 29 today. Happy birthday.
And Tina Westhoff is celebrating birthday number 65 in St. Paul. It says, happy birthday from all your family. Love you.
In Commerce, Oklahoma, Russell Stoops turns 65 today. And the note says, still crazy about you, love your wife. Happy birthday to you, Russell.
And Charles Parsons is celebrating birthday number 83 in McCune, Kansas. Happy birthday, Charles.
In Fredonia, Kansas, Joan Huchin turns 86 today. Wow, happy birthday to you, Joan.
And another birthday, Chip Herrenbrook is celebrating birthday number 55 in Baxter Springs, Kansas. The note says, hope you have an awesome day. Love, Rhonda, Kenny, Macy, and Peyton. Well, what a great list of birthdays. If you want us to celebrate on your special day, which we always love doing, make sure to send those birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. You can see that email on your screen, but also make sure you pay attention to that deadline you can see on your screen and make sure that we get those sent in plenty of time to have them on there to celebrate you on your special day.
Well, happy birthday and happy anniversary to everybody on that list. And it's a great day to celebrate a birthday and an anniversary. Looking at downtown Pittsburgh, a beautiful sunrise we have here. Clouds are way off there, but for the most part, it's looking very beautiful out there. A little bit on the cooler side, but it is going to warm up. 7th and Range line, still have some clouds, but overall today is going to be on the sunnier side for us. It's actually going to be pretty nice. Range line I-44, people are starting to get out in the morning, do their morning routine, get their morning coffee. Kids are getting on the bus to go to school. And driving conditions actually look pretty good at this moment. Most of our area has really good driving conditions. You can see a little bit of patchy fog way down there just south of Grove, but right now everywhere looks pretty good for getting out the door and driving into work. All right, let's take a look at our regional temperatures. I want to talk about why we're having a warm spell right now and why we're going to cool down later on this weekend. So we have a low pressure system down there by the Red River, and that's bringing up those southerly winds to our area here in Joplin. That's why we're getting some warm weather. But the cool down is because of a low pressure system way up there by Canada that'll eventually make our way into the area. But we're still going to enjoy this nice weather while it's here. All right, taking a look at our future track. Today at noon, there's those southerly winds I was talking about. Clear, beautiful skies. Those clouds you saw on those cams are going to disappear pretty much by early morning time. But by 4 o'clock, some clouds are going to start building out to the west, and then through the evening time, they'll start to push their way to the northeast. But for the most part, it's still going to be pretty nice and clear and warm out there. But once we get into Friday morning, things are going to start changing just a tad bit. We're still going to have winds out of the south, but we are going to have some clouds start to build in for our area. That's where we're going to wake up and it's going to be mostly cloudy. But there's those northwesterly winds I was talking about that are going to start slowly making their way in for this weekend. All right, so starting your day, 8 a.m., 54 degrees, sunny skies through the morning, getting up to 67 degrees at 11 a.m., so a pretty nice start for your morning and for your day. And then for your afternoon, 12 p.m., 70 degrees, sunny skies through the afternoon, getting up to 73 degrees between that 2 to 4 o'clock hour. So that's going to be our high is 74. But winds are still going to be gusty today out of the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 25. So it's going to be a nice, beautiful day, but don't let those winds deter you from getting out for a nice, beautiful walk this afternoon and evening time. For our evening, a slight cool down, 69 at 6 p.m. We are going to have those increasing clouds through the overnight, getting down to 64 degrees at 10 p.m. But those clouds are going to act like a blanket for us, so we're only going to see it down to 55 degrees for the overnight. Still a little bit gusty, gusting up to 20 miles an hour, but not too bad for our day and for our evening. Taking a look at our 10-day. So for today, like I was saying, on the breezier side, still sunny. High of 73 degrees. Friday, 72 degrees. Saturday is when that cooler front starts to push in. 68 degrees, not too bad, but look at that. 24 and 31 degrees, 45 degrees for a high on Sunday. So those lows, 24 and 31, are going to possibly bring in a frost and a freeze. So you're going to be waking up, probably scraping some frost off of your car. So it's going to be pretty cold as you're waking up. And we're not going to really warm up on Monday either, 49 degrees, still sunny skies. And then there is a possibility that we will warm up by Wednesday of next week, possibly getting up to 70 again by Thursday. Coming up when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, Mark Anthony announces his first Vegas residency, and Jonathan Bailey earns a major honor.
This is your Wake Up Recap for November 6th, your top stories to start your day. At a White House breakfast meeting, President Trump pressured Republican senators to scrap the filibuster rule that requires 60 votes to advance most legislation. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the votes aren't there to change the rule that would let Republicans fund the government and end the shutdown without the needed Democratic votes. As the government shutdown continues, families who rely on federal programs are running into new challenges, not just with food assistance, but with everyday services. For one Joplin mother raising a child with autism, even getting to medical appointments has become a struggle. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And today is going to be a very beautiful day, getting your morning started. 54 at 8 a.m., warming up to 67 degrees. Pretty much sunny. You can see some clouds right now, but those are going to clear out by the early afternoon. And then by the afternoon, getting up to 73 degrees on the windier side, gusting up to 70 or 25 miles an hour, not too bad. And then for the evening, dropping down to 55 degrees. Winds are still going to be there, gusting up to 20 miles an hour, but it's going to be a pretty nice day and a pretty nice evening. And I'm looking forward to the beautiful sun that we're going to have today as well.
You really can't ask for a nicer November.
You really can. I mean, we're really starting off November on a high note,
Well, thanks, Donald. Coming up today at noon, we're making caramel apple cupcakes in a Mr. Food test kitchen. And your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings. Between mortgages, credit cards, and student loans, Americans' households' debt levels are at an all-time high. Ahead on CBS Mornings, expert tips on how to get control of your finances. Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we have two of the performers in Life of Song here to discuss the upcoming show held by Heartland Opera Company.
Plus, President Trump's economic agenda faced a major test at the Supreme Court yesterday, a look at why his sweeping tariffs could be in jeopardy.
But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. And we'll see you today at noon.